And we want to thank you very much for staying up late with us tonight, as WHAS 11 is the only Kentucky station covering the Democratic National Convention in Chicago tonight, where you just watched Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear earlier speaking right in prime time. And our coverage is the top story here on the WHAS 11 night team. Hi, everybody. I'm Doug Proffitt. Isaiah Kim Martinez and our senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton are live in Chicago right now. And Isaiah, you get a prime time spot at these conventions if you are the future of this party. Did Andy Beshear connect tonight? You know, we saw Kamala Harris give him a standing ovation twice.
Doug, you're absolutely right. It was very hard to miss. And you get a sense, regardless of how you feel about the governor, that he understood what his role was speaking at the DNC. Two main things here. One, hitting on an issue that is a major driver of voters to the polls, driving voters to the polls. And the other, again, touting the very accomplishment that put him on the national map. A roaring Chicago crowd chanting Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear's name as he stepped up to the podium for a primetime address at the DNC. A concise speech lasting 5 minutes, potentially cementing his role as a rising star in the Democratic Party.
In Kentucky, we put reproductive freedom on the ballot last November, and I beat Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell's hand-picked candidate by more than 5 percentage points.
His remarks centered around reproductive rights, coming from a state where abortion is almost entirely banned.
That fails any test of humanity, any test of basic decency, any test of whether you have any underlying empathy.
Beshear was introduced by fellow Kentuckian, Owensboro native Hadley Duvall, a rape survivor and now national abortion rights advocate.
And now I am honored to introduce another champion for women, a leader who's fought for me and for so many others, Governor Andy Beshear.
Hadley Duvall is one of the bravest people I've ever met.
The governor throwing his support behind the Harris-Walz ticket.
Elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and protect reproductive freedom.
Good evening, everyone.
Hours earlier, Harris made her first appearance at the DNC.
This is going to be a great week.
Hours before the high-profile address.
I'm watching to see him show the world who he is.
I sat down with Louisville Democratic Party Vice Chair Roz Welch, who gave me a sense of what to watch for. It seems like reproductive rights is going to be probably a pretty theme to tonight.
Yes, it's going to be great because women's rights is the battle. This isn't the time for us to go backwards and take away people's rights.
And just before coming to Chicago, I talked with Kentucky Senate President Robert Stivers, one of the state's most powerful Republicans, about Beshear's ascension on the national radar.
I think he's trying to position himself for other places. What that might be, you'd have to ask him. But I think it became very evident that that's what he is looking for and that's what he wants to do.
But for now, Beshear says his focus is helping the Harris-Walz ticket win in November.
I'm so proud to be all in for the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris. Thank you.
And you see the Vice President Kamala Harris with that last round of applause. I do want to mention I actually spoke with the governor one-on-one, Doug, just hours before the address. And of course, I had to again ask him that question. Is he considering a cabinet position if she were to be elected? He said in his words, right now, not on the table in Washington, D.C. We're here in Chicago. We're going to have a reaction from folks on the floor, coverage tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Doug.